Okay, we're going to finish up with the annotations or the text for our elevation. Elevations are pretty much drawn for you. It's just up to you to tell the construction workers and who's going to be building this, what are the dimensions and heights, and what are all the materials that I have going on in my building. Okay, the design is complete. I like to have my thick lines off when I'm doing this, but now we're going to spend some time in the annotate tab and add some text. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is grab one. We want to use a 2-segment leader. I like to come out and point right at this line right here, which is our window line, and come over just a little bit, and I want to type in window line and click out of here. Now you're going to see that my text is really, really big, and it's 1/4 of an inch. When in doubt, all text should be at 1/8 of an inch. I don't know why Revit defaults to that, but we need to fix that as we go. All right, I'm going to do these. They don't have to be in any particular order, but wherever we have a dimension, we should have a note or some type of note or annotation. I like these to be the same size as well. So I'm just going to copy this down, and I can copy these into different spots. So I'm going to copy this one here. I'm going to copy it multiple times. I should have clicked multiple times. And I'm going to click it so right for the grade line and for the floor line. And that should be it. All right, this is not the window line. So I'm just going to pull this one up just slightly like that. This is, we know, the floor line. And it might look just a little bit better all in one line. Up here, we're going to edit this as the ceiling line. Notice how they look uniform because they're all been copied, and this is our grade line. They are not touching the dimensions. I get very crabby when you guys touch the dimensions. Our notes do not touch. Okay, we barely want to touch the building. I'm actually going to move that down just a little bit, ever so slightly, so it's not touching the building. We don't want to take away from our design. Grade line, floor line, window line, ceiling line. Okay, another thing that we have to do is we have to identify what is the roof slope. The roof slope is over here in the corner underneath annotate. We don't want to use the arrow. We're going to go to the options bar, use the triangle. I like to try to keep my notes as much as possible. You click on the roof, and then the second click tells you what side you want it to be on. Clearly, we want it to be on the area that's not going to wreck the design that we have. We only need one roof triangle because we know that this is a 6/12 pitch. What are some other materials that we have? Let's hit escape. We have CMU. We've got a footing here. We've got siding, and that's basically about it. All right, why don't we go ahead and make another note, a 2-segment note. We'll do it on the other side, so back to text, or I could copy this, but I'm going to go in a different direction, so I'll just start a new one, and I'm going to point to this right here, make this about as close to the same as possible, and we're going to call this our 16-inch by 8-inch concrete footing. There's my note. Clearly way too big. Didn't pay attention to the properties menu. Never delete, always modify. Let's get it down about an 1/8 inch. And then that kind of got pretty big there. We need to kind of move this back in, get that much where it looks similar to the ones that we just had. Okay, so that looks similar to what we have going on over there. All right, away. In the middle, we are going to use a different style. We're going to use these curved ones, and they don't need to be too big. We're going to start with a curve there. And again, this is going to be way too big, so I'm just going to stop this right away. I don't know why I keep doing that. We're going to click on text, go over here, tell it to be 1/8. We're going to click and pull, and this is a 8-inch CMU or concrete, whichever one you chose, 8-inch CMU foundation wall. I'm going to click close, but what we like to do is add an arrow to that side. So right now I don't have an arrow on there, and I don't know why Revit makes you do that, but I want to try to grab this note. So I've got to get really close to it. Hopefully I can grab it there. Now I'm able to grab it and add a plus. No, we want a plus on this side, and then we want a minus on the other side. So we want a plus on there. And whenever we have one arrow going up, and like I have one arrow going down. Students like to get a little too crazy with these. We don't want the arrows to go all over the place. We want them to be just kind of nice and small. I like how this note came out. Why don't I just copy it? Or you could create another one. Copy it right up to here. It looks nice and uniform for our citing. And this is going to be, oops, didn't want to do that. Let's get out of there. Let's go here, right click. If we can edit this note just a little bit, and then we're going to call this 8-inch lap citing. You can make your own like we just did, or you can copy it, whatever you're most comfortable with. Lap citing, S-I-D-I-N-G, get rid of the L there. Okay, this looks like it's going to be a little bit out of proportion. Let's move it a little bit more into the middle. Make sure the arrows are there. They're not overcoming anything. All right, looks like I've got my dimensions there. I've identified the citing, the CMU, the grade line. I can take a look at what it would look like when it's printed. None of the lines are extending too far out. Everything has been identified. This is ready to be put on a sheet and turned in. Congratulations, you finished the elevation plan.